which took 6 million Jews' lives, a genocide has occurred almost every decade.
Delegates from 15 different countries convened on April 6 to discuss growing concerns over what some may call the ethnic conflict in Rwanda. Due to the apparent lack of information, a handful of countries were not ready to take a stance on the issue, but humanitarian countries such as New Zealand were prepared to state their views on why intervention is necessary right out of the gate.
So basically, I just think it's morally right that we have to, and it's like time to interview for like humanitarianism because it's the right thing to do.
We also heard from other countries who are against helping the Rwandans. A delegate from Britain claimed that intervening would only add to the violence.
We were just adding to destruction. We're adding to the war zone, and that doesn't guarantee that we will benefit or come out of it in victory. So I'm not willing to add to the war if that doesn't mean that we will have victory.
After sitting in on today's meetings, we have learned that the majority of the countries either will not take a stance or are anti-intervention. Hopefully, more information will soon surface about the real atrocities in Rwanda. Reporting for NBC News, this is Lizzie Anderson. We will begin tonight's broadcast with several aerial photos obtained by our government. These seem to show people being driven out of cities, buildings being destroyed, and bodies in the streets. Several sources have reported there have been numerous attacks, including a brutal slaying of Tutsi women and children in a church with machetes. It is likely that tens of thousands of Tutsis have been killed since the beginning of the situation. The delegate from Nigeria voiced her concerns over the current abilities of the members of UNIMAR.
Violent acts that are occurring. As I read in the article that I briefly mentioned, right now UNIMAR is not authorized to take action to stop these, so there's really no point of us being there if we're just going to stand there and watch people get killed. That's just pointless.
The delegate from New Zealand continued the concern of the members of UNIMAR standing back and watching.
And the International Committee has stood by and only watched. Efforts have been mobilized to rescue foreign nationals from the horrifying events in Rwanda, but there has been no concrete action on the part of the international community to protect innocent Rwandese men, women, and children who have been crying for help.
The French ambassador made it clear that France's self-interests come before the lives of any Rwandan.
We are analyzing the situation and taking our own interests into consideration of our own people in UNIMIR.
The Russians echoed France's stance by putting their credibility first.
Intervention elsewhere. We've already ruined our credibility.
We also learned today that some of the countries who have claimed to have no information have had information since January. To end the press conference, the Secretary General has made it clear that she has asked the United Nations to hold a vote on whether or not to use the word genocide.
The Council itself has to take a vote on that for me to be able to speak for them. So I asked today if it is possible if we take a vote on that, clarify it for both journalists and human rights organizations, for them to clarify what it is.
Many questions about the situation in Rwanda have remained unanswered. Why were the delegates reluctant to hold a vote regarding the word genocide? Why are some countries reluctant to intervene due to the lack of information when information is clearly present? This story will unfold day by day, but unfortunately at the expense of more and more Rwandan lives. Reporting for NBC News, this is Lizzie Anderson.